Hey crew, it's Ben, and I'm back on another reaction video. Today we got a brand new one in the house. This is Corey Kent, man of the house. We're going to dig in and see what's up.
Had to grow up before I started shaving. More worried about mama than running and playing outside. She didn't sleep at night, I guess neither did I. I don't know how she did what she did, but she did it. Knew someone was missing, but for her I hid it. She had enough on her plate, so I tried to take his place. Be strong when you ain't, and hold on when you can't. She won't tell you, but she needs you, and you can't let her down. So hide those shaking hands, be a rock when you feel like sand. It turns out all I was back then is all that I am now. Just a boy trying to be the man of the house.
I get it. Right? That is a terrible, absolutely terrible situation for a child to have to be in. It is completely and totally unfair in all aspects for you to have to do that. It is unfair for you to have to intervene in abuse. It is unfair for you as a child to have to worry about whether or not bills are getting paid and whether or not your mama is crying herself to sleep. That is incredibly unfair. It is a horrible thing to happen to any child, and it's happening in most households. And that is terrible. Right? It sounds like it sounds like in this particular situation that maybe there's not a man at all around. And that's even harder, because when you're a kid and there's nobody, then you really do feel like it's up to you. And it's never up to the kid. Right? It should never be up to the kid. The responsibility should never be placed on a child's shoulders. And I know that that's him stepping up and becoming a man, and that is a wonderful thing. But it's not something that should be there. And it's incredibly sad that it is. And I had to step up. I grew up well before my time. We got into my story, and we won't right now, but I come from abuse. I come from broken homes. Like, my mom's on her third marriage, and then this guy, he's a good guy. But the first two, my dad included, was not. Like, at the time, for sure, my dad was not. He's better now than he was then. And he was a nice guy, but he was not a great guy. You know what I mean? And so I get it. I do. And it's incredibly sad that this is even a thing, right? It's terribly sad.
Someone new shows up with some flowers. They go out for a couple of hours. Home Alone's fun for any other kid, but I couldn't watch her go through it again. Trying to fill shoes that ain't my size, but the world don't give a damn about the age of the dog in the fight. So be strong when you ain't, and hold on when you can't. She can't tell you, but she needs you, and you can't let her down. Hide those shaking hands, be a rock when you feel like sand. It turns out all I was back then is all that I am now. Just a boy trying to be the man of the house.
Like, it really breaks my heart. It really does, right? Like, my dad left when I was 2. My brother's dad left when I was 4. right? Right about the time I was molested. We're still not positive whether he was involved in that or not. Like, I don't remember the actual act, but he was gone right after that. And then the new guy didn't come in for quite a few years. So I was there, but like he came in, like Phil's the new guy, and he came in my fourth grade year, I think, the end of my fourth grade year, going into fifth grade. So I wasn't that old, right? My mom was wild, but she dated people, but they tended to stick around for a little while. They weren't the best people. Some of them were quite mean, and a lot of them were bikers, and all of them were into dope. And so, like, it wasn't a great situation whatsoever. So I was looking out for my brother more than I was looking out for my mom. And maybe I'm feeling a little bit of guilt from that. But regardless, like, you shouldn't have to look out for your brother. You shouldn't have to look out for your mom. That's the parent's job to look out for you. And it's great that we have young men that are willing to step up and take this responsibility. But it's not theirs to take. We've given away discernment for pleasure. And I don't know this situation. I don't know what happened to the dad. He might have died. He might have been a piece of shit. There's no telling, right? But regardless, we as a culture have gotten to the point where something like 70% of marriages end in divorce. Well, that means that you're not paying attention to who you're marrying. You're not choosing them for the right reasons. Because if in 5 years you're getting divorced, then you did not spend the time to get to know them people prior. And that is a big part of why this situation keeps unfolding. Everybody thinks it's okay to just chase what you want to do and to abdicate your responsibilities. And most of the time, those responsibilities get thrown on the mothers, and they're overwhelmed. But most divorces are initiated by women. And so there's a certain level of choosing to be overwhelmed. And it's a really complicated talk, and it's a really in-depth discussion about how do we fix this? How do we make it where no more kids have to be the responsible ones? Right? How do we get to the point, like, we talk a lot. My generation is Gen X, right? And my generation talks a lot about being latchkey kids and, oh, we turned out all right and everything's fine. No, we did not. We did not turn out okay. Us latchkey kids did not turn out fine. Almost all of us are fucked up in the head. Almost all of us are now having kids who have all of these issues, right? And we raised the generation that completely decided to do away with marriage and hookup culture is fine and that you can't be who you are in actuality, but whoever you decide you want to be is okay. We have to figure out how to fix that and quit making these kids feel responsible for things, because we're creating another generation of us, another generation just as fucked up as us, and that's terrible.
Just a boy trying to be the man of the house. Married my girl and we had a few babies, trying to give them the childhood life never gave me. No, they probably can't tell, but I'm still telling myself, be strong when you ain't, and hold on when you can't. They can't tell you, but they need you, and you can't let them down. So hide those shaking hands, be a rock when you feel like sand. It turns out all I was back then is all that I am now. Just a boy trying to be the man of the house. Just a boy trying to be the man of the house. Still a boy trying to be the man of the house.
All right. Y'all make sure y'all get back to Corey Kent's page. Show him some love. Give him a like, share, and a sub. Throw him a comment. Let him know you appreciate what he's doing. I do. This is the man expressing his feelings. And it is completely unfair that you get put into that situation. It is unfair to a great deal of us. We don't want to say that it was unfair, but it was. We don't want to say that it was wrong, but it was. We should not have been left unsupervised. That's just a real thing. We should not have been left alone at the house to deal with it ourselves. The circumstances demanded it. We rose to the occasion for the most part, but it had resulted in a whole lot of problems. Like, people have abandonment issues, people have insecurity issues, people have all kinds of issues that stem from not having a secure home life. Not being able to go home and have a mother and a father in the house is a big deal. I applaud Corey because he took the responsibility, yes, but now he is making sure that his kids don't have to. That's the goal, right? That's what my goal became, was to make sure that my children never had to deal with any of the shit that I did. Like, my kids did not know I smoked pot until my son was 16 years old when he found out I smoked pot. I smoked pot their entire life, pretty much. Like, I've been injured for a very long time, and before that I did it recreationally. And so I didn't put it in their face. They never once saw me do a drug deal. They never once went with me on a drug deal. They were never in the trap house. They never once had to worry about any of that. And we were remarkably honest with our children whenever they were growing up. We told them what was going on. We told them the situations we were in. But we made it very clear that it was not for them to worry about. It was not their responsibility. This is our situation, so we can't do the things that we like to do sometimes because this situation has changed. But that is not your responsibility. You don't have to worry about that at all. All you have to worry about is doing the things that are going to be best for you. That became the goal. That's what came out of my struggle through childhood. That's what I turned having to be, right? I was the protector for my brother, right? It wasn't like, I remember Mama putting us out of the house so that she could catch the ass whooping. I remember hiding under the trailer in the trailer park next to the swamp while my mama got her ass beat above us right there. Like, I could hear her getting her ass beat. I could hear her screaming and crying. And so I took on the role from my brother to protect him from those situations, because that was not the only situation. And that was a very long time before there was none of those situations anymore. And so I took on the role of doing that for my brother more than for my mom. And it is what it is. But I was a kid. I was 5 years old. And so I'm rambling. We need to figure out what we're going to do about this. We do. And we need to get back to the point where we as a culture value responsibility, that we value the family unit, that we value the bodies that we were put in, that we value the roles that we are supposed to take on. Because we are here for a reason. If you don't know that, that's the truth. You were put here for a very specific reason. Now, Corey's out here, he's breaking generational cycles, right? That's what he's doing by being there for his children. I'm here breaking generational cycles because I chose to be here for my children. I want you to break your generational cycles too. To choose that your kids do not ever have to be the man of the house. Like, barring a death, and even then, it is not a child's responsibility to step into a father's shoes. If you're telling your kid you've got to be the man of the house now, something's wrong with you. There doesn't have to be. Like, if there's a death, right, there doesn't have to be a man of the house. Now, you should not go rush out to fill that position, or a woman of the house. That's not something you just jump into because you need physical needs, or somebody has to wash the dishes, or whatever your ridiculous reason for it is. If somebody's in a relationship with you, it should be because you together become better, that you push each other to a better part, and not all the negativity and the fighting and the stuff that makes these kids think they have to step up and be the father. I've gone on way too long. I know, I rant. That's what I do. That's what we do over here. This was great, Corey. I thank you very much for this. Y'all make sure y'all get back over to Corey Kent's page. Give him a like, share, and a sub. Throw him a comment. Let him know you appreciate what he's doing, because I do. Like, I really do. I appreciate every single one of these people out there sharing their life. Right? You know how hard it is to share things like this with the world? Somebody that you'll never see is out there listening to you tell your horror. That's something. So thank you, Corey. I appreciate you shining light in this world. We need more lights. So thank you. To the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you are here with me, and I am praying for you every single day. Until next time, I love you. You are perfect, whole, and complete, just the way that you are. And this has been Pittstake. Peace.